Now, we meet one of the most prolific and creepy children's authors, R.L. Stine. In today's No Ohio, we learn how he went from a regular Ohio kid to a famous writer and movie maker.
Did I scare you? Probably not. But the author we're going to learn about today is an expert at scaring people. That author is R.L. Stine. Perhaps you've heard of him? He's an Ohio native that has written a lot, and I mean a lot, of spooky stories. Robert Lawrence Stine was born October 3rd, 1943 in Columbus. His mother managed the household while his father worked as a shipping clerk. Stine also has two younger siblings, one brother and one sister. His family was very poor. Many of the clothes that the children had were hand-me-downs from older cousins and other relatives. Because of this, Stine was pretty shy. He didn't want people to judge him because of his clothes. His story goes like this. One day, he found an old typewriter in his attic. He brought it down to his room, and his love for writing was born.
My parents didn't understand it at all. My mother would stand outside my door and she'd say, "What's wrong with you? Go outside and play. Go outside." And I'd say, "It's boring out there." Type, 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 type. And I've been doing that ever since.
Stine was more of a class clown than a straight-A student. He just wanted to write stories instead of study. After graduating high school, Stine attended The Ohio State University in Columbus. While at college, he was editor of the Sundial, the school humor magazine. He liked to joke that he spent more time editing the magazine than attending classes. In 1967, Stine traveled to New York City to become a writer. He got a job at Scholastic, where he wrote for school magazines. Then he began to write funny children's books. He wrote How to Be Funny, The Sick of Being Sick book, and 101 Creepy Creature Jokes. Stine later created his own humor magazine, Bananas Magazine, which he wrote and edited for 10 years. In 1969, Stine married Jane Waldhorn. She too was a writer and editor, and they even worked together on several books. Jane formed a publishing company with her business partner called Parachute Press. This would be the home of Stine's most popular book series. In 1986, Stine switched from writing humor and jokes to ghosts and monsters. People couldn't get enough of his first scary teen novel, Blind Date. It became the first of many bestsellers. Encouraged by the success, Stine created an entire young adult series, Fear Street. It went on to be the best-selling young adult series in history, with over 100 books. But that's not all he's known for. The most recognized book series connected to R.L. Stine was created in 1992, Goosebumps. This series for kids in middle school became an instant global phenomenon. There are over 130 Goosebumps stories. Goosebumps even became a TV show that earned the title of #1 kids show for 3 years straight in the 90s. It wasn't his only successful television program. The Haunting Hour won 3 Emmy Awards for Most Outstanding Children's TV Show in 2013, 14, and 15. In 2015, the Goosebumps series was turned into a movie starring Jack Black and 40 monsters from the Goosebumps series. And in 2023, Disney Plus released a new series also inspired by Stine's most popular series. At the age of 76, R.L. Stine is still writing. So the next time you visit the library, check out the Goosebumps series or another R.L. Stine book. There are plenty to choose from. Maybe you'll be inspired to come up with your own spooky story. No typewriter required.
My favorite Goosebumps story was The Ghost Next Door. You know, the one where the girl becomes friends with a neighbor, but that neighbor turns out to be a ghost. Even though it wasn't a particularly scary story, it still gives me the creeps. But do you think you could scare me? For this week's write-in question, I want to read spooky short stories. Send us your original scary stories using our inbox form online, or you can send us an email to newsdepth@ideastream.org.